Lichens are symbiotic organisms consisting of a mutualistic relationship between cyanobacteria and fungi. The fungi offer shelter from harsh conditions for the algae, which is a form of habitat mutualism, and the algae offer nutrients to the fungi from its ability to photosynthesize, which is a form of trophic mutualism. Lichens are integral parts to many ecosystems, and often act as a keystone species due to their nitrogen-fixing properties, their nature as a food source, and a habitat. Hence, the reduction of lichens in the ecosystem could prove catastrophic to local populations. Lichens are also beneficial to humans due to their pollutants-absorbing qualities. Studying lichen samples could help humans gauge the air quality of an area, offering invaluable information for scientists to study. Lichens thrive in environments with low pollutants due to their need to absorb nutrients from the air. This leads us to the question of, how does proximity to urban areas affect the abundance and biodiversity of lichens? Insight into this question could help us better understand how to conserve and protect this important species. To test this, 20 trees were observed and studied in both urban areas where trees are directly next to major roads and within Pacific Spirit Park, far away from urban pollution. Knowing that lichens are negatively affected by pollution, it was expected that there would be less lichen abundance and diversity near roads frequented by cars, whose pollutants would undoubtedly cause harm to lichen species. However, the results show a very different story. Before analysis of the results, it is important to address some caveats concerning the methods used in this experiment. Abundance of lichens are likely affected by tree species, as some species of trees were observed to highly encourage lichen growth, while others were observed to be poor habitats for lichens. Taking this into account, lichen abundance is measured by observing general lichen coverage across all sampled trees in urban areas and in Pacific Spirit Park. Furthermore, it is difficult to distinguish moss from lichens. Distinction of moss and lichens were exercised to the best of our abilities, with the general rule of thumb being that moss possesses leaves, while lichens do not. For example, we consider this as lichen, and we consider this as moss.
Due to poor lighting and suboptimal photo quality, it might be difficult to distinguish different lichen species from the photos that have been taken in the study. Therefore, images of higher resolution of the species of lichens found would act as a visual guide to show the diversity of species of lichens within the study.
Within urban areas, these species of lichens were found in order of abundance. Crustose lichen, as can be seen here. Dust lichen, as can be seen here. Foliose lichen, as can be seen here. Here are some of the trees sampled near major roads. Although it can be observed that some trees are less susceptible to lichen growth, lichen diversity and abundance is clearly visible in trees near major roads, even though they are near cars and polluted areas. Overall, lichen abundance is substantial, and a large portion of the tree's surface area is covered by either lichen or moss. There are obvious gaps in tree coverage, however, as shown here, where both moss and lichen do not cover large portions of the tree. What came across as most surprising, however, was the lichen diversity found on trees near major roads. This is most evident in this tree, where 3 species of lichen can be found coexisting. However, the fact that lichen growth is relatively sparse in urban areas still rings true, as can be seen with these images.
Moving on to trees in more remote areas. Only one species of lichen was found in the trees sampled in Pacific Spirit Park, which looks to be a variety of foliose lichen. Here are some images of the trees found in the Pacific Spirit Park. From the image seen here, it can be observed that overall, trees in Pacific Spirit Park are more fully covered in moss, lichen, and algae. There is less surface area of the trees that aren't already inhabited by some secondary organism. This is to be expected, as the distance from pollution and cleaner air offer a more habitable and favorable environment for lichens. What is most striking, however, is the lack of diversity seen in the trees in Pacific Spirit Park. Only one species of lichen was identified, whereas the rest of the tree's occupants were some combination of moss and algae. Here are the main takeaways from the study. First of all, in general, lichens are higher in abundance in Pacific Spirit Park, where they are far away from pollution. There are less lichens observed in urban areas near busy roads. Secondly, in general, there is a larger variety of lichens present near urban areas. In Pacific Spirit Park, only one species of lichen was found, whereas at least 3 species of lichen were observed on trees next to roads. The first point is the expected outcome of the study in regards to measuring lichen abundance. Since lichens are sensitive to pollution, a habitat near a polluted road would surely lower the carrying capacity of the lichens. The second point, however, was not the expected outcome of the study, and warrants further investigation. A possible reason for the increase in lichen biodiversity in polluted areas, such as next to major roads, would be that the disturbance within urban environments kill off stronger competitors, leading to less competitive exclusion and allowing less dominant species to continue thriving. This would explain why in the relatively undisturbed Pacific Spirit Park, the competitively dominant species was able to outcompete and competitively exclude less competitive species, eventually causing their local extinction and becoming the only prominent lichen species. From the evidence gathered in this study, it is clear to see that Vancouver is a great place for the survival of lichens, with multiple species thriving even in areas with relatively higher pollution. This is especially obvious when comparing the abundance of lichens in Vancouver with the abundance of lichens in other parts of the world. Both Sophie and I come from Hong Kong, and we do not see nearly as much lichen in city centers, if at all. Although Vancouver is a hospitable place for lichens, there are still steps that can be taken in order to ensure more diversity within lichen populations, as well as to increase the abundance of lichens in urban areas. For example, man-made disturbance can be made in relatively undisturbed areas in order to allow for more diversity. In addition, making the switch to greener modes of transport, like electric cars, bicycles, and buses, could lower population in urban areas and help increase the abundance of lichens.